So I want to talk to you today about being bold. Now, not about wearing these bright colors like I'm wearing today. It's really an acronym. So it stands for breathe, breathing deeply, observing, listening, and discovering. And it's been really useful for me in terms of finding my place in my work, but also at home. So first one is breathe, breathing deeply and just taking a moment to kind of find your strength, find your stability, and you can think of it as like an anchor, or your roots, your grounding, and your ability then to, once you take a deep breath, it kind of pauses the moment and allows you to act with intention rather than responding. So if you think about the roots on a tree, when if it gets caught in a storm and there's a river going by, the roots keep the tree grounded so that you're not getting carried away and pulled by different emotions that you might be feeling or different demands by your environment. You're able to keep grounded within yourself while you're responding to those things. That's the first one. O is for observe. And that's not just observing what's going on around you, externally, what other people are doing or thinking, putting yourself in the place of other people, putting yourself in their shoes, but also observing what's going on inside yourself. And I think that's one thing that, with the hustle and bustle that we have, a lot of people don't take that moment to kind of figure out, well, what is my body telling me? Can I feel like my stomach getting tight, or my shoulders kind of going up, or my neck getting a little bit tight? What does that signal to me? Maybe I'm feeling stressed right now. So you kind of describe the feelings going up and down, but then also give it a name after that. Some people name it first and then describe it, but that seems a little bit weird to me. I usually try to figure out what individual things in my body are doing. And that also tells you and can alert you if somebody's crossing your boundaries. Because if you're feeling stressed but you're unsure what the moment is telling you, it's kind of like trusting your gut. You're finding out what's going on in your body to tell you what's going on in the moment. So that's observe. And like I said, there's an internal component and an external, what's going on around you. How are other people acting? How might they be feeling? But also try to think about, people might be reacting to you because of what they see you appearing like. Are you showing your emotions in a genuine way? People might think that you're stoic and show no emotion when actually inside you there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Now that's fine, but it's good to be aware. What am I outwardly projecting to people at the same time that I'm feeling? What are they seeing that they are maybe reacting to? What is their story about me and who I am? And what is my own story about who I am? Is there a way to make those match, or are you doing it on purpose that they're maybe not matching? It depends on the context. L for listening. So really that's listening to your own values. Like I said, you have your own story of who you are and what you care about. So listen is about listening to your values and ensuring that what your actions are match those values. So if your value is to be assertive, then the way that you're going to respond in that moment when somebody maybe has crossed your boundaries is to assert yourself in that moment. Or maybe your goal is, or your values, which is different from your goals, but I can talk about that in another one. But maybe your values are about being kind to others and maintaining relationships. Perhaps you lead a team, and so you really need to have those kind of like solidarity of the team. So that might change the way that you act because your values are that I want to maintain the team. And then the fourth one is D for discover. So that's where you're discovering how to act in that situation. And so that one's the more, practical, what are you going to do about it? Where you decide how to act. And like I said, you've already considered how you feel, how other people are feeling, what they might be thinking, what your story is and your values. And so you want your actions to reflect what you've just been thinking about and processing. And that's it. So I think it's really important, because one thing that we lack aware of is our emotions and our thoughts. And they seem to kind of, again, like that river, just kind of, we get bowled over sometimes by our thoughts and emotions and our doubt and our fears. And grounding and taking a breath and taking a moment means that you won't get, pulled away by those thoughts and feelings of doubt and fear, or however you're feeling in the moment. And I think it's really important to become aware of those, because I think one thing that somebody told me about was this kind of Johari window about awareness of yourself and other people's awareness of you. So it's always useful to kind of think about what you're hiding from other people. What do other people know about you that you might not know about yourself? And that's why I was saying, in terms of observing, it's useful to see how other people are reacting to you, because that can give you a clue as to what you're putting out there. Maybe what you intend to put out there is different from what people are receiving from you. And so it's really useful to think, well, I didn't expect people to act that way or react that way to something. What was it that happened? Did you put out something that you maybe weren't aware of, because you're not aware of how you feel and think, and your actions are more reactive than, an action with intention? And are people perceiving that? And are they reacting to that? Or are you expecting people to know things about you that you haven't told them about yourself? And that's happened to me loads of times, where people haven't checked up on me, and I'm like, wow, didn't people know that I was having a tough time today at work? No, they didn't know. I wasn't showing it outwardly. I was keeping it all internally hidden completely from, showing it to them, and also not telling them or disclosing it to anybody. But I was expecting people to know that, and what are those kind of like magical thinking that you might have that just seems to creep into your daily work activities or at home? It's really useful. Again, with open eyes, you're able to then control the way that your coworkers and your family interact with you. It's all about communication, and that's the biggest part that I find when I talk to people about work, is the largest problem for them, and the largest issue is communication, and they're unaware of it. So hopefully that helps.